Welcome back, World Wide Web. Welcome to Hangin' With. I'm GW Pomichter. Thanks for logging on. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already done so, please go on down there and hit subscribe. Come on back over and over and over again and see these authors, creators, filmmakers, musicians, everybody. And thank you for checking us out today. We want to start off again with a shout out to some of our friends. We want to start out with Awesomeness TV, the AwesomenessNetworkTV.com. They're helping us share these videos all over the World Wide Web, and we're grateful for them. We're also grateful for Something Unique Magazine, SomethingUniqueMag.com. F. Kenneth Taylor and the great writers over at Something Unique who are sharing these videos on the World Wide Web. Thanks to Lou Belcher of the Florida Books News. That's a blog bringing attention to Florida writers, Florida organizations, and writing events. Thank you, Lou. We really appreciate your help in getting the word out. And we're sitting here now at the 8th Annual O'Galey Art Festival, and we're courtesy of the Author for Authors Committee. Dr. Valerie Allen, Holly Fox, Velacoop, and Marshall Frank, thanks for letting us come in here and hang with authors. We're really grateful. We're back here in sunny Melbourne, Florida, which isn't exactly sunny today. It's not today. But it's a great place to be, and it's a nice weather most of the time. And we are hanging with writer and creator Wanda Luthman, the writer of The Lilac Princess. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming and hanging with us today. The Lilac Princess, it's a children's book.
A children's book.
This is a book for your kids, everybody. Get this book. And tell us a little bit about the Lilac Princess. Don't spoil it. Let the kids read it. Let the kids read it. But just tell us a little bit about it and what made you decide to write a children's book. Okay.
So the book is about a only child to an elderly king and queen.
Okay.
And there are wars in the land, so they won't let her go outside the castle. And there's lilacs growing outside the castle, and she wants to go out and see these lilacs.
Wow.
So she figures out a way to sneak out.
Because that's what they do.
That's what they do. And she meets this dragon who seems friendly at first. Takes her flying. Everything seems great. And she sees them coming back to the castle. She's feeling like, this is such a wonderful place to live. I'm so glad I'm back home. And then he diverts off. And he takes her to his cave.
Wow.
And the adventure begins.
Wow.
And so the story is ultimately about forgiveness. She has to determine if she will forgive the dragon who tried to kill her.
Wow.
So that's what it's about.
So, but it's got a lot. There are a lot of themes.
Yes.
Such a small. How many pages is this?
I think
Children's
it's 50.
Book? Yep, 50 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of. There's a lot of heavy stuff in there for lessons for kids.
Yes.
Right from the get-go there.
Right.
Right down, we were teaching our kids for years, stranger danger. Because,
yes.
And so, there's right there. We start right with that, and then we work our way to forgiveness.
Right.
So there's a lot of heavy things in there to teach your kids about. So that's really amazing. Now, what made you decide that you wanted to write this?
Well, so my child is an only child.
Okay.
And I was very overprotective of her. She's in college now, but growing up I was very overprotective. And so that was kind of the initial thought behind the story. But ultimately, it's my story.
Yes.
How I wanted to kind of get out of the house and go and explore, and there was some, overprotectiveness of me. And then after I got out and explored, I realized how much I really did love home and how great home was. And so that was, the theme there. And then really the dragon symbolizes everybody's issues, that if you're going to forgive people or not, for those things.
We go back to The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
The first step out your front door is an adventure.
Right.
And the world opens up to you, and you learn about, being wrong, and you learn about how to forgive, and you learn about how to interact with people, and all those things happen when you take your first step out the front door.
Right.
And that's an amazing story to tell.
Yeah.
And so where right now can people find The Lilac Princess?
So they can find it on Amazon.
I am messing things up here, so there we go.
It is paperback, of course, and also an ebook.
Great. And it's on Amazon?
And it's on Amazon.
Are there any other vendors right now?
Nope, not right now.
Okay, so go to Amazon.com and check out The Lilac Princess by Wanda Luthman. And so what inspires you to want to write this stuff down?
Well, I've always written. When I was little, I started writing books, and I would staple the little pages together and
doing that.
illustrate.
Yes.
And so I've always written. And then somewhere in middle school, I wrote journals and poetry, a little bit more darker maybe, because that's what I was going through. And then in high school, I studied literature, and then on into college, I took about 16 credit hours of literature.
Wonderful.
I wound up majoring in psychology, went a different route, but always had this love for writing.
Very interesting. You said you took a lot of literature courses and then majored in psychology. It's a very interesting correlation between those two things, though, because psychology is really all about why we do what we do.
Right.
And you find those things in good literature.
Right.
Good literature.
Absolutely.
We've talked several times with writers. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, but I always harken back to those early learning days in creative writing when I learned that our job is to tell truth.
Yes.
Our job is to tell the human experience. And psychology is really all about what is that truth and why does it exist.
Right.
So it wasn't that far off base.
Right. No,
really.
It was kind of
and welcome home.
Intermingled.
Now you're back in literature.
Yeah,
so welcome
absolutely.
home. And so this is your first book. You've always been a writer.
Yes.
We can expect more books.
You bet.
All
I
right.
have written another book in
Wonderful.
between writing this one and publishing it, and it's going to come out hopefully in January. And then I'm in the middle of writing my third book.
Wonderful. We look forward to those. What's your next book?
I haven't titled it yet, but it's going to be about a turtle.
About a turtle.
And he doesn't like his shell. So I haven't quite figured out a title.
Very nice. All right. So now, as a writer, and now that you've had this out for about a year, as an independent writer, what do you think of the writing community? And how, what's your favorite part about being a creative person?
Well, I didn't even know that much about being an independent publisher. I tried, of course, the traditional route, and that didn't work, so I decided to self-publish. And then after that, I realized there was this whole marketing piece. And in the process of trying to figure that out, I found the whole indie author group, and they're amazing. I have felt so supported.
I really do. I call this is the new Renaissance. It really is.
Yep.
I always say to people, in the 1600s, there was a revolution. People got to read because there was a printing press putting out books to everybody. But for 400 years, there was a guy that had access to that printing press. And he was the only guy in town that did. And anybody that wanted to write anything, you had to find that guy. And the indie author community via the internet and print-on-demand services and things like that are out, Drafted Digital, Create Space, these things are out there now, and really, it's a new renaissance. They took the printing press away from that man, and they gave it to us, the author, the creator, and they said, you know what? Let your readers decide if you're good or if you're bad or if you're not. And I was telling another author earlier, if there's someone who loves your book, I promise you there's someone who hates it.
Right.
You're bound to meet that person first.
Yeah.
And but it's okay, because if he exists, that means he read the book.
Right.
There's 99 cents that you have. And then it also means that there's someone on the other side that loves it. So it's an interesting way today, and I love talking to indie authors, especially a year in. We learned so much. We learned so much in the first month. The first thing that we learned is that illusion that we had that when we wrote a book, the next day we would be millionaires. We picked out our cars and our houses, right? And the first month we learned the difference.
Right.
That first 98-cent check came in, and we went, this might take a little more work.
Right.
But it is. It's great community, and welcome to the community.
Thank you.
So I've been asking indie authors and new authors in their first year or two, right? You get these conferences and you get to travel and do some book signings. What's the most unique or coolest experience you've had now that you're in the community?
Well, I have been into elementary schools, and I've done some presentations there. And really, the most amazing thing is when a little child comes up and they want you to sign the book,
Wow.
And they're just like, will you sign this for me?
And that's amazing with readers. I can't imagine this little person, and that's amazing. That's so great. And really, wow. So we've told our viewers can find you on Amazon.com.
Yep.
They can find you in both paperback and Kindle version.
Right.
For iOS users and all of those people, make sure you get the Kindle app download so you can get the Kindle version of the Lilac Princess. It's only about 50 pages, but there's some great lessons for your children in here, and it's just a good read. So go ahead and look up the Lilac Princess and just do a Google search to find Wanda Luthman out there, and you'll find the book, okay? We got to wrap it up. It's been a great hanging with. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we've been hanging with Wanda Luthman, the author of the Lilac Princess. And thank you so much for being with us. Before we go, though, one more shout out to Something Unique Magazine, somethinguniquemag.com. For more episodes of Hanging With, go on over here, scroll down the list, and find another author, find a filmmaker, find a musician, find somebody you like and watch their interview. We're talking to people, authors and creators. They're real live people. It's not just a name on the bookshelf. So check out our episodes and check back. Also, you can find us in the iTunes store. Get our podcast. And while you're here, maybe, if you feel like it, you can link on over to the Hangin' With store at cafepress.com/Hangin' With and grab a t-shirt or a coffee mug or a ball cap. Everything you buy goes into the show, helps us help authors and creators get out to the World Wide Web. So help us out and grab one of those things. We want a special thanks again to Marshall Frank, Holly Vellacorp, and Dr. Valerie Allen of the Author for Authors Committee for letting us hang at the 8th Annual O'Galley Art Festival here in historic downtown O'Galley in Melbourne, Florida. I'm G.W. Pomichter. I'm an author, and I'm the host of the Hangin' With show. We've been hanging with Wanda Luthman, author of the Lilac Princess. Remember to subscribe, log in, tune in, and see who we'll be hanging with next.
In the summer of 1953, private investigator Will Lucky Marks was working as the in-house private eye for Arcane Pacific Pictures. Trapped inside the studio with the killer, Lucky must find the killer before time runs out. Lot 28. Own it today. Available iTunes and Amazon.com.
Welcome back, World Wide Web. We are hanging with, and today I'm G.W. Pomichter. I'm G.W. Pomichter every day, actually, but I'm G.W. Pomichter. Thanks for logging on today and tuning in today. If you haven't already, go on down here and hit the subscribe button. Come back and watch us over and over and over again. Different authors, different creators, filmmakers, you name it, we're here. Hit subscribe. If you're here for the first time, thanks for coming by. All right, we want to start off with a shout out to our friends at Something Unique Magazine. These guys are great. They're out of St. Louis, and you can find them on the World Wide Web at somethinguniquemag.com. And we send our thanks to them for sharing these videos all over the World Wide Web. F. Kenneth Taylor is a great, great friend to hang with, and we love him. Awesomeness TV also, awesomenessnetworktv.com. Thank you guys for sharing our authors and creators all over the World Wide Web. Oh my Lord, we have more thank yous because we have a new person sharing our videos. And so I want to thank Lou Belcher. Excuse me, let me do that one more time. I want to thank Lou Belcher of the Florida Books News. It's a blog to bring attention to Florida writers. It's a Florida writing organization and for writing events. And thank you, Lou, for sharing these videos on the World Wide Web. We're here in what should be sunny Melbourne, Florida, but it's a little less than sunny out there with the rain. So we're here at Melbourne, Florida, and we are hanging with author and creator Lou Cruz, who is the author of 7 Steps to Nutritional Balance. Awesome. Yeah, my daughter-in-law is a nutritionist.
Oh, wow.
Yes, this is wonderful.
So,
thank you. Welcome, Lou, and thank you for hanging with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, yeah, we're happy to do that. How's the weekend going for you here?
It's going very good. Meeting a lot of nice people, and I'm very impressed with the talent here in our county.
Amazing. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. And very, very prolific writers.
Yes, we have some writers out here. I just interviewed a writer with 20 books.
20 books.
20 books. I said, I have 3. I think I'm Superman. And he's got 20. It's amazing. What a great base for talent, though.
Yes.
It's for all over Brevard. Actually, all over Florida, people have come to this festival this weekend.
Yeah.
So, but it's an amazing group. Now, 7 Steps to Nutritional Balance. What made you decide to write this?
It's been a lifelong journey. It actually starts with you want to join a revolution, a health revolution.
Okay.
And it's simple steps to changing your lifestyle to be a more healthy you.
Wow.
And the revolution that I talk about is something that I've been doing since I was probably in high school.
Okay.
I was the type of person.
Now that was what, 3 or 4 years ago?
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I would hand out cancer pamphlets to my friends that just started smoking in high school. So that was not very popular, but for some reason or other, my inner self told me, you know, this is not good, and I wouldn't let people ride in my car and smoke, and wouldn't date anybody that smoked. So it's been kind of a journey, and really my main revolution came probably in the 60s, early 60s. My husband and I got out of college. We're both alumni of the University of Florida. I got to put that in there.
All right.
And
Go Gators, I guess.
Yes,
That's hard for me. My son is a graduate of FSU.
Oh gosh.
So it's Go Gators hard, but I can do it. I can do it for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. But I came and I was just starting to have children, and I knew in my heart that I wanted to do the healthiest thing. You know, this is my baby, that I wanted to have it healthy. And so I started reading about natural childbirth, and I started reading about breastfeeding. Well, when I mentioned it to my doctor, one of the doctors refused to see me anymore.
Oh my.
And I was told I was a fanatic. And so anyway, it's been my lifelong struggle to educate people.
Just make a healthier you.
Yeah, that's all I want. And so eventually I was able to lecture, and I'm talking about Brevard County.
Okay.
So I got to lecture to doctors and nurses because they didn't know anything about breastfeeding.
Wow.
Everybody, knows. And back then they didn't have anything like that.
Wow.
And I was actually the first woman to have rooming in at Woodstock Hospital.
Wow.
That was in 1968, which
wow.
you may not understand what that is, but it
no,
was,
well, I do a little, only because my first son, we didn't go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest boy, we actually went up to what was the Brevard Birthing Center up in Merritt, in Merritt
I was
Island.
very, very familiar with him.
And what wonderful experience it truly was, and comfortable,
Wow.
and all around better than what I was told at the time. And again, I mean, I was younger, so I was told at the time that was sort of non-traditional, that we should, that kind of thing. But it just seemed like the right, like you said, it seemed like the right thing to do.
See, you can thank me for that.
I do.
Because none of that was even possible back in the 60s.
Wow.
And it was through I'm 4'10" and a half. At the time I weighed 100 pounds, and I would go into these doctors and say, childbirth is not a sickness. You're treating these mothers like they're ill or they got a disease. But anyway, that was one of the revolutions. And then I started getting into health and nutrition. And it's been all these years, 50 years of trying to educate. That's all I want to do. I just want to educate people, and that's what my book is about.
That's wonderful. And so when did this book come out?
3 days ago.
3 days ago. Wow. Well, I'm going to tell you, before I even have a chance to read this, I'm going to tell you, first of all, thank you, because your fight did yield results.
Yes.
And my children were born, like I said, in what they consider a non-traditional way, out of the birthing center. And then, again, my most recent child, I have a 4-year-old, and we gave birth over at Homes, but in their new thing. And it was very much like going to the birthing center. We weren't treated like we were ill. We were treated like a family in that room. And that's your work. That is amazing. And this is going to be amazing too. And I have to read this now because it says nutritional balance. And if I don't get to read this, my daughter-in-law will not be happy with me. She is a nutritionalist. She just graduated. She graduated a few years ago from FSU.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do a Go Seminoles because we throw that in with the Gators. And she's currently living in Alaska. She's working with seniors right now.
Oh, okay.
Well, my son is a CID investigator for the Army.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
but yeah, we always do our best. We at least put nutritional food on the table when they're in town.
Right.
We try.
This is, again, I'm non-traditional.
I had a really bad look over there. Apparently, I'm supposed to tell you that my table is always nutritional.
Oh, okay.
See the look. Anyway, okay.
So I'm more non-traditional.
Okay.
I will go to a doctor, but my basic is homeopathic medicine, alternative medicine.
Okay.
And what I talk about is like people, when you say nutrition, they they think, oh, it's the food. You're going to tell me not to eat this. You're going to tell me not to eat that. No. What I'm doing is trying to educate on what choices to make to be a more healthy you.
Outstanding.
One of the things, I don't talk about a lot of controversial subjects, but I talk about one of the things is aspartame.
Okay.
And
very important as we get older to have that in our diets.
My daughter doesn't like me to say this, but I try and go into some of the lies and the misinformation that the media and pharmaceuticals put out there. And unfortunately, people are buying it.
Now, what is I'm going to ask you only because recently, I'm 45, and recently we have a little kit that we carry with us when we go out of town and to do these shows. And I said, I'm 45 years old. You better put a bottle of aspirin in there because, I don't know. So what are some natural things that with aspartame in it? Just real quick. What are some natural sources of aspartame?
There are no such thing.
No such thing.
No, aspartame is a chemical.
Yes.
And it was actually derived from formaldehyde.
Mm-hmm. What would be a substitute in a nutritional substitute to keep me heart healthy, or in the case of that kind of thing?
Well, unfortunately, sugar has gotten a very bad rap.
Okay.
But it's only because sugar is in things you don't even know it's in. So our overconsumption of sugar, which of course leads to cancer, because cancer cells feed on sugar. So the overconsumption of sugar has gotten a really bad rap. Now, I'm not recommending sugar, and if I do, it's going to be a natural sugar that still has the molasses, still has all the nutrition in it.
Okay.
It's like cane sugar.
Okay,
like
yes.
That. But, and this, honey is wonderful. Except
always have honey.
Anything, too much of anything is no good. No matter
all
what.
things in moderation. That's right.
Everything in moderation. And that's kind of what I try and do in my book. Everything in moderation.
Okay, so now have you published this independently or through a publishing company? Independently? Okay.
Yes.
Is this your first book?
Yes.
And how do you like being an indie author?
How do I like being
an independent author?
I find it very, fine. I mean, I haven't had a whole lot of experience since I just got the book. But what I want to do, really, the book is going to be like my big business card.
Very nice.
Because I want to train. I want to speak. I want to be a speaker.
Wonderful.
I want to be able to go to groups and say, hey, make good choices. Even at your age, make good choices so you don't wind up with Alzheimer's or don't wind up with heart disease.
Yes, ma'am.
Make your choices now. And so that's what I go into.
That is wonderful. Where can we find the book right now?
Right now, of course, it's on Amazon.
Amazon.com.
But I'm selling it off of my website.
And your website is?
LouCrews.com.
LouCrews.com. Okay.
LUCREWS.
All right. LUCREWS. LouCrews.com. You can pick up a copy of 7 Steps to Nutritional Balance. Again, this is a part of Lou's larger agenda, which is just living healthier lifestyles and educating people. So go to LouCrews.com, pick up a book, but also maybe shoot an email over to Lou and give her a chance to come and speak to your group or anybody to educate them on how to be a healthier living. We've got to wrap things up here, Lou. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Look here in the description for a link to Lou's book on Amazon.com. Also, we're going to put a link to LouCrews.com. Make sure you get a hold of Lou. She'll come out and help you to make a strategy for living a healthier life and being a healthier you. So that about wraps us up here. Our special thanks again to our friend Something Unique Magazine at somethinguniquemag.com. For episodes of Hangin' With, check back with our YouTube channel. Look over in the iTunes store for the podcast. While you're down here in the description, click on the link. Go on over to the Hangin' With store at cafepress.com/hanginwith. Pick up a t-shirt or a coffee mug, ball cap. Support us so that we can keep supporting this great community of artists and authors. And I'm G.W. Pomichter, and we have been hanging with Lou Crews, the author of 7 Steps to Nutritional Balance, also a public speaker and educator on a healthier you. So make sure that you check out all the links below, okay? Subscribe, log on, tune in. Come on back in a little while to see who we're hanging with next.